This is the first Lightning Saix custom that I ever did, which I dubbed the Mirage Saix, and that's thanks to the heavily applied wet gloss finish. And the reason why I went with a wet gloss finish is simply because it hides a lot of the under detailing under certain light, giving it a shimmery mirage look, also being an absolute pain in the neck to photograph. That was until I got the new camera, so here's a mildly better look at it because it still really does prefer natural lighting. Today's custom, however, is a bit more grounded with a bit of a shot in the dark approach, using a few colours and a slightly randomly selected pattern, I guess, to see what comes out the other side. The Steel Saix, as I'm calling this one, features an SMS steel heavily and quickly applied all over the likewise jet black PL30 for one reason. Now I don't really know why, but I absolutely loved the textured odd finish that the paints leave on the surface when you do it like this, kind of reminding me of Damascus steel. And to demonstrate what I mean, this is the look I described versus a piece of the Panzer project. Both of them are the exact same paints, jet black underneath with a steel outer. The Panzer one, however, was applied the way that SMS advises you to apply them. Basically, wait between your coats and apply it nice and thin to build up. As you may have noticed, I chopped the whole first part of the build out, being cutting from sprue and tidying up and all that little fiddly crap. And that's because it takes forever, and honestly, it's just really boring unless there's something you need to know or learn. So we're diving straight into the painting to keep it interesting, I guess. Now, while I was readying the parts, I selected a few pieces here and there to simply just be ice pearl, and that's, again, another SMS color, as are all of the paints in this build, excluding the shades that I used later on. Just like the steel, I once again manipulated the blue to give it that textured look, so that meant heavy and quick application. So it had something to break up the darkness all over. And while I was tending to these pieces, I started with the claws and I thought, you know what? I've never actually seen a Lightning Saix with golden teeth and claws, so I just did it. Going against the normal, which is to put old gold basically on everything because I absolutely love that color, I went with red gold this time. And honestly, I feel that the nice controlled coats came out fantastic to ensure that the gold popped correctly, and look, it came out better than I was expecting. It breaks up the blocks of colour all over the model quite nicely, I feel. When it comes to all of the red pieces and leg lugs on the stock Saix kit, I decided to go with a pearl. But sadly, I wanted a really dark blue and that wasn't available. The slightly good news is, they make a colour called Void, so I went with that and kind of heavily applied it, attempting to get that dark, deep blue to shine a little bit more prominently. And I think it works. In amongst the selection of colours, I landed on using copper on a small handful of bits to see how it went, and it sort of works, it sort of doesn't. I think I'm indifferent to it really, but I don't know. I just, yeah. Lastly, the main light silver parts I wanted to take to a much darker shade for sure, so I started with gunmetal over jet black, and then I thickly coated some of the clear blue over the top, giving it a bit of continuity with the other blue pieces and the void pieces, which in contrast to the less glossy steel over the top looks pretty cool, I think. Now the funny part about all of this is, I didn't actually realise I'd picked all the pieces going from head to tail for the ice blue, so when I assembled it, I was pleasantly surprised, and the further I got, the more I liked it. This morning I got up and, well, I was drawn straight to the Saix. I sat down before I even had coffee and started adding bits of Drakenhof Nightshade and Null Oil by Citadel here and there. And I actually hit a point where I just looked at it and I thought, I like that as it is, and I stopped. As I typed this script, I've actually had a New Century team idea spawn because of this one, so I guess you guys will get a fan-made team at some point, which means more Saix kits, and that's not exactly a problem. I love the Zoid and hopefully you do too, because we're not done with them yet. Slightly off topic for a sec though, I've always had a My Dream Zoid mentally banked since I was a kiddo. Do you folks want to see it? Could be fun, I think, and I promise I'm not dodging the Panzer build. So I guess this is probably actually the best spot to talk about that quickly. As some of you may have seen from my YouTube community posts, I've completely paused it for now due to some areas of the parts not working as intended. Meaning I've had to contact the supplier and work through what to do because I'm absolutely refusing to abandon this idea or give up and just finish it. Because it's an absolutely ridiculously big idea that I've set in motion and I want to try and deliver the best that I can on it. It's currently fully airbrushed piece by piece, so it's now a game of technical aspect to work through, which has been great for a mental workout, but is also extremely frustrating at points due to learning on the go. But yeah, I'm not rushing or quitting on the idea, so it is coming. I just want my cauldron experiments to be as good as they can be. Final off topic here, expect a couple of mashups of Megami Device and Zoids. I've got a couple of plans I've been keen on doing, so they're in the pipeline also. Back onto the Saix, I've built a couple of the re-releases before, but strangely this one from the last batch seems different. It doesn't want to detonate like the other two. The paws stay on fine, the legs stay in the sockets nicely, the head hasn't exploded off for no reason, and the tail isn't missing randomly. So maybe I got lucky, or they slightly changed the tooling without an announcement, but either way, the next run is coming, so hype. Alright, it's time to wrap this one up. Sorry if that was a bit of a ramble. I guess I had more to say than usual, probably because it's been so long since I did another video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll leave you with the result. Until the next one, take care.